I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
I'm Dylan Bowden for the Joe Blow Network, and this is From Page to Screen. For this installment, we'll be looking back at Marvel Studios' take on The Green Goliath, 2008's The Incredible Hulk. Co-created in 1962 by writer Stan Lee and artist Jack Kirby, Hulk first appeared in The Incredible Hulk Issue 1. Portrayed as a meek and unassuming scientist, Dr. Bruce Banner is testing his latest invention, the Gamma Bomb, for the US military. But as the countdown begins, Banner notices a teenager driving out onto the testing range. Racing out just in time, he manages to push the teenager down safely into a bunker, but gets blasted by the impact of the explosion and bombarded with gamma rays. Taken back to a medical base, he begins feeling ill and as the sun goes down transforms into a hulking monster with superhuman strength and invulnerability. Going on a rampage, the US government hound him, and the teenager he saved, Rick Jones, is the only one who knows his secrets. Feeling responsible, he aids Banner in eluding the army, led by General Thunderbolt Ross and his unrelenting pursuit of the Hulk. Originally, he was coloured grey, but when printing issues caused the greys to come across as green, he was altered to his traditional iconic all-green by his second appearance. Initially, Banner would only change when the sun went down, transform back when the sun came up, and could still form sentences when in his Hulk form. As early as issue 4, Banner devised a way to control his powers by using a gamma ray projector to transform when required, while still maintaining his full intellect and personality. The initial series only ran for 6 issues before it was cancelled, but the character lived on as a founding member of the Avengers in Avengers issue 1. This was short-lived however, as overuse of the projector caused him to start transforming uncontrollably when his stress levels were high, and his IQ dropped when becoming the Hulk, turning him into the uncontrollable rage monster we all know today. With no series of his own, the Hulk found an ongoing popularity in guest appearances in other comic book titles, especially in his countless battles against other popular Marvel characters, including Captain America, Daredevil, Ghost Rider, Spider-Man, and the X-Men. Hulk would finally get his own title again in 1968, when Tales to Astonish was renamed The Incredible Hulk with issue 102. Initially starting out as a proper sequel to the 2003 Universal version, the movie acted as a semi-sequel slash reboot, or requel, coined by producer of both Hulk movies, Gale Anne Hurd. As the project developed though, Marvel Studios wanted to distance themselves, and by production it had become its own movie, with the only real through line between the movies being that Banner ended up in South America at the end of the previous film, and started in South America at the beginning of this film.
Ai, não me deixo conforme. Não bom quando eu come.
With Eric Banner not returning,
Human.
other actors considered for the role of Bruce Banner included David Duchovny, Brendan Fraser, Dominic Purcell, and even future Banner Mark Ruffalo, before Edward Norton was hired for his previous praised performances of duality in Primal Fear and Fight Club. Louis Leterrier was hired to direct and wanted to make his version of the Hulk leaner than any seen before on screen, with 0% body fat and pure muscle, basing his version on the artwork of artist David Keown, in order to show that the transformation was a painful experience for Banner when his body changes size, citing the American Werewolf in London transformation as an inspiration. Leterrier's primary inspiration were Jeff Loeb's Hulk Grey, While lifting elements from the comics, the movie takes more cues from the 1978 television series, which for its time was a massive hit and still endures to this day. In the series, a renamed David Bruce Banner, guilt-ridden over the wife he couldn't save, has dedicated his life to the hidden inner strength potential of human beings. After testing gamma rays on himself, he finds that when enraged he turns into the Hulk, who was played by Mr. Universe bodybuilder Lou Ferrigno. When the lab explodes, he is presumed dead and roams the country searching for a cure while taking jobs where he can, and is constantly being pursued by newspaper reporter Jack McGee.
Mr. McGee, don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Several nods to the TV series, the comics, and the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe are scattered throughout, as well as setups for potential Hulk sequels that have still never eventuated.
What if I told you we were putting a team together? Who's we?
The opening credits are almost a shot-for-shot recreation of the TV show's intro. Though he passed away in 1992, original Banner actor Bill Bixby appears on a TV screen. Lou Ferrigno makes a cameo as a security guard.
You are the man.
God bless you, brother.
And also voices the Hulk, as he has done in the animated series and both Avengers movies.
Puny God.
Stan Lee makes a cameo, accidentally drinking from a bottle of contaminated soda containing the Hulk's blood. And that same brand of soda can be also seen advertised in Ant-Man. The iconic Lonely Man theme, used at the end of every episode of the TV series, when Banner slowly walks from town to town, is used in the movie and has been parodied multiple times in pop culture.
Oh, play that sad walking away song from The Incredible Hulk. Hey, everyone, look at me. Look at me.
Two bystanders interviewed about the university attack are Jeff McGee and Jim Wilson. McGee was the name of the reporter in the television series, and Wilson was an orphan the Hulk befriended in the comics. The news report itself also appears in Iron Man 2 as part of Tony Stark's Avengers debriefing. The SHIELD logo also appears in a database tracking Mr. Blue's interactions with Banner. During the opening credits, classified files listing Nick Fury and Rick Jones can be seen, as well as blueprints for Stark technology that would later be used against the Hulk. Tim Blake Nelson appears as Samuel Stearns, liaising as the mysterious Mr. Blue to help Banner find a cure. In the comics, Stearns was an average labourer disposing of nuclear waste at a chemical plant when an explosion doused him with gamma rays. At first appearing unaffected, he develops an insatiable hunger for knowledge. Reading as much as he can, his brain begins to expand, and as the gamma radiation takes effect, his skin turns green and his cranium grows larger to accommodate his oversized superior brain. With newfound superhuman intelligence, he renames himself the Leader and develops a spy network to rule the world and becomes one of the Hulk's greatest supervillains. After being knocked down by the Abomination, a sample of the Hulk's blood drips into an open wound on his head, and the last time he is seen, his cranium is bubbling and growing in size, setting him up for a potential future appearance in his Leader form. Ty Burrell appears as Dr. Leonard Sampson, a psychiatrist working at the Culver University and a love interest for Betty Ross. In the comics, Sampson was a scientist and a psychiatrist that had an interest in the Hulk. Offering his services to cure Betty from being frozen in ice, and Banner from his transformations, he ciphered gamma energy from the Hulk. With residual gamma energy left, he used it on himself, giving him a muscular physique, super strength, and long green hair. Grateful for saving her life, she fell in love with him, and the jealousy caused Banner to reverse the effects and turn him into the Hulk once again. Feeling responsible, Sampson would go on to become a therapist for Banner, and would even become a superhero in his own right, under the name Doc Samson. Tim Roth appears as Emil Blonsky, an aging Russian-born English SAS mercenary hired to take down Banner. In the comics, Emil Blonsky was a Russian spy sent to take photographs of gamma technology. When sneaking through the lab, he uses the machine on himself and changes into an amphibian-like monster stronger than the Hulk and able to maintain his personality and intellect. However, he is unable to ever change back to his human form. His movie counterpart is past his due date and looking for an edge to stay relevant. When given the chance to increase his skills through the same super soldier serum that created Captain America, he overdoses and exposure to gamma rays transforms him into an abomination. Leterrier reasoned that with no amphibian or reptile DNA, it made little sense to closely follow the look from the comics. Instead, due to the serum being injected directly into his bone marrow, his look was changed to show more bony protrusions which he could use as stabbing weapons. But the movie is more famous for what didn't make it in. Over an hour and a half of footage was cut from the movie as Banner tries to attempt suicide to make it faster paced, which caused a rift between Marvel and star Edward Norton, who rewrote a lot of the script uncredited and acted as producer, though the moment was alluded to in The Avengers.
I got low. I didn't see an end, so I put a bullet in my mouth and the other guy spit it out.
And most famously, including the first Marvel Cinematic Universe appearance of Captain America frozen in ice. The Incredible Hulk didn't quite smash box office records, making a respectable $263 million from a modest budget of $150 million, and currently holds a rating of 67% on Rotten Tomatoes, ranking it the lowest of the Marvel movies, yet still certifiably fresh. Like his comic book counterpart, the character seems to work best in small appearances and ensembles, rather than having his own full stories. Though his movies may not endure, the character does, and currently with no solo movie in sight, he is set to return in Avengers Infinity War to no doubt smash once again. Was there anything we missed, or any characters you'd like to learn more about? Leave your comments below. This has been Dylan Bowden for JoBlo.com, and we'll see you next time.